you were just doing with the diamond method, that was when A is equal to 1. You can also factor when A is not equal to 1. Today I'm going to teach you 4 methods. I'm going to make you do all 4 during class, and then after class you can do whatever you want on the methods for your homework. Okay? So here's an example of a quadratic, that's the x squared, trinomial, 1, 2, 3 terms. But in this case, A is greater than 1. So do not do the diamond with 40 and 2. Or 40 and 18, rather. Always, 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 always first check if there's a greatest common factor. In this case, between 2, 18, and 40, what's the greatest common factor?
2.
Great, factor it out. 2 times what gives me 2x squared? 2 times what is 18? 2 times what is 20?
What?
Okay. 2 times what is 40? It's 20. Now, A is equal to 1, B is equal to 9, and C is equal to 20. Once A is equal to 1, it's easy. You can do the diamond. What times what is 20 and adds to 9?
Oh, 5 times 4.
Yeah. So my answer is 2 times x plus 5, x plus 4. But in order to see that, you need to first have factored out the 2. Okay, I'm going to teach you 4 methods for this. Here's where you're going to want to be giving your full attention. There's no greatest common factor between 3, 11, and 10, but it is still factorable. The first method I'm going to show you is simply guess and check, as in figure it out the hard way. What do I mean by that? Well, if I'm going to factor this, I know it's going to eventually look like this. Whatever's here and here must multiply to 3. How many different ways can I multiply and get 3? 3 times 1. Is there any other way? No. So I already know that this is going to be 3x and this is going to be x. How many different ways can I multiply and get 10?
5 times 2.
Let's start always with 1. This will be easier. We don't miss any. 1 times, 2 times, 5 times,
2.
and 10 times. And they actually are all different in this case. Now, you're going to want a pencil because we're going to be erasing. If you don't have a pencil, you can just cross it out as we go. You have to test each one of these until it works. So, I'm going to test 1 and 10. Plus 1, plus 10. Now I FOIL it. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 10 is 30x. 1 times x is x, and 1 times 10 is 10. Is this going to add to make 11? No. So can it be 1 and 10? Cross it off. Now I have my eraser. I'm erasing the 1. I'm erasing the 10. Let's try 2 and 5. plus 2. Oops, I should use a pencil. Plus 5. The first term is 3x squared. Then I have 15x, 2x, and 2 times 5 is 10. Does 15 and 2 make 11? No. Cross that one out. Which one do you want to try next? 10 and 1? Okay. Plus 10 plus 1. What's my first term? Then I have 3x plus 10x plus 10. Awkward. What should we try next? 5 and 2. It better work. Whoever told us to go out of order really made us extra work for us. Let's try 5 and 2. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 2 is 6x. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 2 is 10. Does this make 11? Yes. So my answer is 3x plus 5x plus 2. Now, how come we can't just use the x? Yeah. How come we can't just use the x method? Well, had we done the x here, you would have had 10 and 11. That doesn't get us 5 and 2. That's wrong. Don't do the diamond. That's the guess and check method. It's my least favorite because it takes the longest, but you should understand how you could do that. What do? You first find the two numbers that would give you 3, then you find all the possible numbers that would give you 10, and you just keep going, foiling it until it works. Method 2 is called factor by grouping. We're going to do the same problem, so that way we already know the answer. So first, you're going to find two numbers that multiply to a times c and add to 11. Now, what do I mean by a times c? I mean a, b, c. So multiplying to 30, adding to my b term, which is 11. If you liked the diamond method, you can still do the diamond method here. The top of the diamond is a times c. The bottom is b. A times c, 3 times 10 is equal to 30. B is equal to 11. What two numbers multiply to 30, add to 11? Good. It is 5 and it is 6. Now what we're going to do is we are going to undo the double distribute. So I write my 4 lines for what FOIL would have been. I know my first term is 3x squared and my last term is 10. The two numbers that add to 11 are 5 and 6. So I'm going to put 5x. Actually, it'll be easier if I put 6x, and you'll see why in a second. And 5x, although the order doesn't matter. Now I undo the double distribute. What I mean by that is I write parentheses and I'm going to factor out the common factor. What is common between 3x squared and 6x? 3 and x. What's left behind? 3x times what is 3x squared? Plus, what's going to go here? 2. Now we do the same thing from the second group. What's common of 5 and 10? What's left behind? Plus, 5 times what is 10? Cool. Do you see how x plus 2 is the same as x plus 2? Because they're the same, I know I did it correct. That's one of my factors. X plus 2. The other factor is 3x plus 5, and I'm done. So that was factoring by grouping. Make it easier as we go. Yes.
Sorry.
What?
That's your back.
Step 1 is the same. So if you like the diamond, this would be where to do the diamond. A times C at the top, B at the bottom.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
Are we gonna take the break that we always have?
No. Sorry, your break was the smoke day.
Man, that was our break.
So, what numbers multiply to A times C and add to B? It's the same problem. What numbers multiply to 30 and add to 11? 5 and 6. Okay. Here we're doing the box. I love this method.
I bet you love the arrows.
I love all methods. So, in the top left, what term is always here when we do the box? It's the first term, the x squared term. In my current problem, what is the x squared term? It's kind of like this goes FOIL. What's my first term? 3x squared. What's my last term? 10. Okay. Just like in the factoring by grouping method, we put the 5 and the 6 on my lines. Same thing here. It does not matter which one you put them in. And now you undo the box. So you're looking for GCFs here. You're looking for greatest common factors in the rows or in the columns. The first one I see is that 3 and 6 have a GCF of 3, and there's also an x. Once you have 1, the rest you can just fill in. 3x times what gives me 3x squared? 3x times what gives me 6x? X times what gives me 5x? Or 2 times what gives me 10? Those are my answers, here and here. X plus 2, 3x plus 5. You want a sweater? I have like 3.
So that's good also. That's good. Oh, finally there's some cool.
You ready for method 4?
Physically, yes. Mentally,
Method 4 is a trick that my cousin taught me last week. Method 4, I just gave it a cute little name. It's called slide and divide.
ooh. Is your cousin a math teacher as well?
No,
Oh. You guys are all good at it.
he just remembered how he learned it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So in all of these methods, you're just doing the same first step. I'm going to rewrite what the problem was since it's gone now. And for the last time, what multiplies to 30 and adds to 11? Cool.
Can you try switching the keys, bro? Try switching the
Okay. So once you have 5 and 6, in this process, you put those numbers actually into the parentheses. X plus 5, X plus 6, but we're not done. And I know I'm not done because if I FOIL this, X times X would not give me 3. So I know that I can't be done right now. It's definitely not correct right now because X times X does not give me 3X squared. Here's the cool part. Okay, I'm going to give you the instructions as my cousin said it to me. It's not exactly professional. Divide by A. If a whole number, dope. That's literally how he taught it to me. If not a whole number, simplify fraction and slide A to front. I will show you. It'll make way more sense once I do it. Looking at my quadratic, A is equal to 3, because that's my first term. So everybody just watch what I do. I divide both of these by A. Divide by 3, divide by 3. If a whole number, dope. 6 divided by 3 is a whole number, right? So I'm going to write that one as x plus 2. If not a whole number, simplify the fraction. Is this simplified? Yes. And slide A to the front. Slide A to the front. My other factor is 3x plus 5.
Oh, that's
Kind of cool. So 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. That worked. 5 divided by 3, you can't divide. So you slide the 3 to the front. 3x plus 5 is your other factor. It's a little trick. I thought it was cool. Cool beans. Take out classwork number 25. work together to do the first problem. I don't care which method you start with. Like if slide and divide is your favorite, you can do that one first. If the box method is your favorite, you can do that. If factor by grouping is your favorite, you can do that. But you do have to do all 4 methods.